HTML. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It's not a programming language, so don't confuse the two. It's a markup language to structure a web page and its content. So then, what's the structure? The content of a web page can comprise of paragraphs, navigations, images, tables, lists, and so many more elements. HTML is the structure of a web page with series of elements, and these elements have an opening tag as well as a closing tag. Elements can also have attributes, so browsers do not display the HTML tags, but they use them to produce the content of the page. So here you see resources of a simple project that I coded to point out some HTML elements. It doesn't require a web server to be run, and you can download it from the link below. So we'll view this page in Firefox. Now the page will be displayed like this. And I also put almost every HTML element into it. So you can scroll up and down and see what these elements look like. And of course, the source of the page can be previewed as well. So now I'm going to return to the code in the editor. And here's a very basic and very standard HTML structure of a web page. So I'll try to explain the main structure from top to bottom so that you can see how the individual elements are combined to form an entire HTML page. So the first line, the doc type element, it defines the type of document which historically has meaning, but now it's not very important because browsers can quickly get that it's HTML. The HTML element is the root element of the page. The whole content of the page should be between these tags. HTML tags can have attributes to define more properties about the page. So with the lang attribute, the language of the page can also be set. The head element. This element works like a container for the elements that are included in the page, but are not displayed on the page visually. So we can say the head element contains metadata of the document, such as the page title, links for CSS files, favicons, script files, etc., and other metadata, such as data about the HTML, the author, and important keywords that describe the document. Meta element. So metadata is data that describes data, yeah? So with this element, the metadata of the page, such as author, description, and more, can be defined. And here's the char set attribute. It's used to define the character set of the document. Okay, so here it has value of UTF-8, which includes most characters from the vast majority of written languages. There are lots of different meta elements that can be included in an HTML document. So even the developer can provide his own meta elements. The title element, this element sets the title of the page. And it's not just ordinary text, because search engines use this text to classify the page. So by searching a login form title, you can list login forms indexed by the search engine. And the body element. The content that will be showed to the users reside in this element, whether it's text, image, video, playable audio tracks, whatever else. So I intentionally put a whole bunch of elements into this code file. Paragraphs, headings, lists, links, images, and videos are some of the other elements that are worth paying attention to. But as you can guess, this is not an HTML development course. But I did want to show you a sort of overview of what we get. So I'm going to stop here, but you can always have more detailed look on your own.